Shortly after 7 o'clock here, we'll call the meeting to order. Put people online. He's not on yet. So, approval of the minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the minutes? All good. I have a motion to approve the minutes. Joe moves. Second, all in favor. Approved. We're going to start this evening with a public hearing. The public hearing is set to start at 7:05. It's for the DeWitt Landing TTM. We'll kind of. It's.
How can do that tree clearing?
Yeah, it's just, we're gonna. So we have a tree clearing permit. That's gonna be a kind of a quick one. We'll do that just so we can get ourselves to the 7:05 mark and give everybody an opportunity to get here. So for 6620 Fly Road.
It's the first one.
Very first.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, feel the weight of this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're in it.
So for pathology, we've all had an opportunity to review this tree clearing permit. We've had significant discussion around the clearing itself. Any questions from the board at this point? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read the resolution here. So for the tree clearing at 6620 Fly Road, the applicant has presented an application pursuant to the town code section 192-107C4 for a permit for site clearing. The town code grants the planning board the authority to give site plan approval for clearing of land to assure that any clearing of land is purposeful and appropriate for the site. In this instance, there was an application pending for a proposed site plan and use on that site at issue. While the plan is not ready for approval, the board wants to ensure that enough is known about the proposed plan to ensure that the plan is potentially viable on the site, and the extent of clearing may be in conformance with the potential improvement of the site. In this regard, the applicant has presented preliminary plans with respect to the intended improvements on the site. This board is satisfied that the plan as presented is viable, though not yet fully reviewed for approval. Of particular concern has been the parking requirements for the proposed project. This board is currently assured that the parking will be sufficient for a full build out of the project. Such parking required in final site plan approval of the project may include phased parking, reserve parking, and eventually potentially a parking garage suitable for the site. All of this will be further vetted during the site plan approval process. Inasmuch as the clearing application is a separate request under the code, this coupled with review of comments of the planning board here related to the site clearing. This board deems the information provided sufficient to allow permitting of site plan approval pursuant to 192-107C4. Accordingly, this board hereby approves the site plan as submitted for the sole purpose of clearing in compliance with section 192-107C4, and that the applicant may apply for the clearing permit with the town in conformance with limited site plan approval. Again, this is just for the site clearing and not for site plan approval. A motion to approve. Kevin, all in favor? Great.
Aye.
Okay, you're after 7:05. Oh, and we'll note that Blake is here. He's here. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open a public hearing for the DeWitt Landing property at 457 Fly Road. We're gonna ask the applicant to give a quick 5, maybe 10-minute overview of the project, and then we'll open it up for comment at that point. So is the applicant here? Great. It's up behind the TV there. You go ahead and share the screen. This is the presentation that will open up here.
Presentation.
Yeah. But we started recording.
Yep.
The public, yeah.
I don't think you share the screen. I think you can share the application. So you got to stop and share. Up, up. Down, 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 down. Right there.
So the project is an addition of a freestanding facility for TTM, which is the successor company to what we knew in younger days as Anner Microwave. So this is a site that's a little bit away from the existing facility, which is over in this area. It is a 214,000 plus or minus square foot facility total. It is 150,000 square feet roughly footprint. The facility will manufacture high density printed circuit boards for use in United States Defense Department uses and critical components in the semiconductor industry. The process will be the only process in the contiguous 48 states that manufacture this technology. Most of it has been in Malaysia. It's been a critical importance to bring this manufacturing capability back to the United States. The building itself, at its highest point, is about 44 feet high. It has about 900 feet of frontage on Fly Road. It's pretty much centered on Fly Road. It's set back from the Fly Road right of way about 60 feet. It is about 800 feet from west property boundary of Conrail to the back of the annex building. Building kind of segments for us is the production facility, the annex facility, which is where mostly it's storage, it's shipping and receiving. This facility, right now, we have planned 423 parking spaces on site. We've had discussion with the board about reserving about 106 parking spaces to the north. It would be not, it doesn't bear out based on the employment numbers and shift overlap. 315 or 16 parking spaces is more than sufficient for their day-to-day operations at peak capacity and employee count. The building and all the vertical construction and associated parking is within the loop of Hammersmith Drive, which is a town dedicated road. It has two entrances out onto Fly Road. One is at Hammersmith to the south. The other is via Sunny Square Drive to the north. All wired utilities are in the Hammersmith Drive roadway. The only thing that is outside the Hammersmith Drive roadway would be stormwater management facilities. Most of the pre-treatment that's required is here and here. And then the stormwater management pond would be at this point and discharges underneath the Conrail tracks at the northwest corner. Architecturally,
They close the alt to this. to the left. Left, see where it says all tools on the left. Far left, all the way to the left, there you go, right there, see, and just to the right of all tools, the X. Down and to the right. Yep, got it. Just like-
So this, I have several perspectives of the site architecturally, so this is obviously an overhead view. Showing the site and where it is within the loop of Hammersmith Drive. There are several small buildings that were part of the original development that was done on the site. It was a fairly radically different concept when it was done in the late eighties. Two of the buildings up at Fly Road were built, and a third was built at the west end of the property site. TTM actually owns the property between the westernmost small building and the municipal power building, which is there. Next slide.
You'll need to minimize that, the zoom box. Don't, you box on the right with all the pictures. Yeah. Now the pages are on the right. There's
Leave up
arrows.
down there, those
They're
right
a little
there.
bit down, yep.
So this again would be looking north at the facility. Again, the majority of the parking we had planned to be at the south end of the site inside the loop of Hammersmith. Building has two elevations. The L shape that's over to the east side of the building is a two-story part of the building. The lower roof in between is the main production facility. And the pop up to the left is the annex facility. The main entrance for visitors is the framed blue entrance at the southeast corner. The employee entrance is up where the annex facility is. Again, it's a framed blue entrance, but less prominent than the visitor entrance. This is looking, if you're driving north on Fly Road, and that is the visitor entrance. This is if you're driving south on Fly Road, and it's the north side of the building. This again, just an aerial view of the north looking south. The building cladding itself is it's a aluminum composite panel. White.
Okay. Pretty good overview where we are at this moment. Are there any questions right now from the board on this one? I mean, we still have work to do on the site plan. But at this time, unless there's any comments, I'd like to open it up. I have a motion to open the public hearing. Kathy, Jenny, all in favor?
Aye.
So we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak? We'd ask that you come up, state your name, address, limit the amount of time, probably look like 3 minutes of comment if possible.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim Stokes. I'm actually a practicing land use and zoning attorney, but I'm appearing tonight in my capacity as executive director of the Municipal Electric Utilities Association of New York State. We're the small building to the west that was pointed out in the presentation. So arguably
Absolutely stunning, I love it.
properties.
I'm so glad you let me do that.
Principally tonight, I'd like to ask the board to continue the public hearing. Did receive a letter from the town yesterday in mail, which we appreciate. I came to the office today. There was no one here in the office that could actually share the application with me, so we haven't had a chance to look at this and evaluate it. The entire site is wet. It's covered with water 51 weeks of the year. There's significant issues there. Obviously, with that volume of traffic, Hammersmith Drive is not a very good road to begin with. It's been there for some time. The applicant referred to development in the late 80s. Our building was built in 2008. And obviously it was built.
In your wallet or do you throw money in your pocket?
Those people online, would you mind muting yourself unless you're actively talking? Thank you.
I was like.
Wait, sorry, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, with that amount of traffic, obviously it changes the nature of that road, it changes the nature of the entire development on which certainly our association, the other offices that are on there built and reliance upon the original plan, but it's going to be in suburban part. You know, we're not necessarily opposed to having a facility there. We think a lot more work has to go into the development plan, in terms of evaluating drainage impacts, stormwater impacts, the traffic impacts, the impacts on the neighborhood directly to our west, as well as the impact on our. So again, we would welcome direct interaction with the developer. They never reached out to us, but asked that the hearing be adjourned.
Well, we'll continue our public hearing, and we are actively doing seeker at this point. Our town engineer is reviewing drainage. We know it's an issue. So we are active. So it's not going to be any action. Just hearing, yeah, comments.
As long as the public hearing remains open, and we'll continue to interact. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Just what's the executive director of, talk very quickly.
Municipal electric utilities. The Association of 40 Municipal Electric Utilities, Solvay, Skinny Atlas, and 2 Onondaga County members. There's 38 other members. Columbia has the benefit.
Is there anybody else? Is there anybody online that would like to speak? With that, is there a motion to close the public hearing? This is self-posted. Yes. Posted.
So it can be closed, if you want, you can stay open, we can, continue it to the next meeting. We're not gonna make a decision tonight, it doesn't hurt to keep it open, but that's up to you. They, you can accept comments even after the public hearing is closed, that's up to you. Everything separate written comments, and that's up to you.
There any objection to keeping it open? Close the next meeting if there are no further comments. So we'll table the closing for now. And at the next meeting, we will review and close the public hearing. Leif, are you trying to say something?
Yeah, I know there's been some extensive preliminary planning done on the water mitigation issues on that wet site since I walked it too, way back at the beginning of this process. And I strongly recommend that John gets together with them independently on the side and sidebars and makes them aware of what their efforts are to really improve the quality of that land out there, which I know they're attempting to do. So I think that should be done and commented on the next time so that we know everybody's working together here. So it's an expeditious process.
I'm fine with that. The other comment
Thank you, John.
the other comment I have is I have reached out to the Franklin Park neighborhood, understanding the sensitivity, so the comment that Kevin is.
No, I know that's been a conversation. So I would just continue to keep an open dialogue,
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
send your contact information so that people. So with that, we'll move on. We'll leave this.
I think we wanted to, their engineering comments are out, so we
Oh,
can give them to the
yes.
applicant.
Yep, so we'll get those engineering comments and everybody look at those. This point.
They came from Mark,
Right.
so
Yes.
We'd like to get them back to the applicant to try to move this along.
So we'll get those comments out to you tomorrow. That one, keep moving that along. And then I believe,
You had a question about tree clearing?
Yeah, so we've done a tree clearings report and we're identifying 12 trees that are primarily up around the 3 residential buildings that are at the northeast corner of the site that are potential roost trees, which we would like to clear before the 31st. I know there's some permitting required.
yes,
My question is, do I need final site plan approval? Should I file for a separate permit to clear? I mean, it's really pre-cutting, we're not hand clearing.
right, so I think we treat this in the same perspective with the Light Road property. You know, we have a proposed site plan in place when we wants, we understand. And is in there, we would need a application and a clear site plan drawing identifying the trees in here in there for our review. In there to review that, so you need to get that material in very quickly for us to take.
We did send the report to,
Yeah, so if you could just get the application tomorrow and attach
The
it.
department has made a determination. The director of planning and zoning made the determination that they needed a full site plan. As per the code. That's
Um,
what they were told.
So we have it, we have a full site plan.
I guess the question was
We
whether it
haven't.
needs to be in review or approved, and that was the question.
Right, so we do have the site plan because it's part of this. So then I think with the last applicant, we just requested sort of the clearing plan. And the application pursuant to you just heard what the section was, 192-107C4, right? Then it can be reviewed.
Yeah, I filled out the permit. I have the exhibits that show the trees that are potential roost trees. Some of them are dead. So,
Is it a permit you filled out or an application
application. So the site plan application.
There is no application.
for the
There is
clearing?
no application for tree clearing.
Okay,
What was the application that we made we did make,
yeah,
yeah, we made that.
It's a
for-
site
separate.
The code says that they need site plan.
right.
So there's no application for tree clearing.
Is there a
Okay,
permit
so-
then or no?
It's the application. The same thing that we did for farm camp.
Exactly. it was the
No,
same.
no,
The big
plan-
part,
site
I'm sorry,
plan is-
pathology,
Site plan review is required.
right,
That's what the director of planning and zoning told Mr. O'Brien yesterday.
right.
So,
He wanted to come in and he wanted to fill out an application. There is no application. What he had still,
Okay,
a site plan.
all right, so we have it, so we have what we
Right.
need to look at.
but it has to be a separate application, right?
There is
There
no
is none.
application for tree clearing.
But
I know.
the site plan application
It
for
basically
clearing.
says that you need to approve the site plan to clear trees.
Well,
It's
That-
for pathology.
Right.
We want to make sure we don't approve the site.
Right, we did not approve the site plan.
Right, we just approved the site plan for tree clearing.
At this point,
So
we're not
we'll clear
doing
it up
anything
tomorrow.
tonight. We'll clear it up, and we'll get back to you with clear direction.
Yeah, I think my request was to put it on at the end of tonight's meeting. If it was a separate issue, knowing that you're familiar with the site plan.
We're not gonna make any motion.
Well, what we did for the last one, we sent it to our engineer. He looked at it, made sure it was okay, and then that was the
They sent back-
resolution we just
They
did.
sent back comments. He responded to the comments and we reviewed it again.
I think I copied Mark on the report. So
Okay, so we'll let you know what exactly what it needs tomorrow.
Okay. Table the public hearing. Close anything. Making any motions. We're good.
So timeline wise, just to clarify, because they're here. We're going to talk tomorrow about how to get the site clearing issue. We're going to keep the public hearing open and we're gonna hear it at the next meeting. Okay. At that time, the likely will on seeker. Depending on the comments that are delivered, that the planning boards will get better, should be delivered tomorrow, in the next couple days. We may or may not be ready for site plan approval on the 28th. But we're going to be working through that work. Does that make sense?
Jamie, do we have to publish it for comparing the?
No, it's considered published as we're here. It's like very.
You know, we said early on, it's a very time sensitive project. And it's,
We are doing as best as we can. And you know, where. Okay. Farmington.
Dell, one up here. Flash drive the Dell box.
Yeah. So this will be. Looked at this, you went to ZBA, right, you got your rules from ZBA, and you got back from JDs.
That's right.
Finalize. Site plan. Application, except for signage. Signage will need further discussion. The signage will need further discussion. So we'll not be looking at signage this evening. That one. Because
Signage was submitted as part of the revised elevations. Tenant signage on the building facade.
Yes,
so there's that one, but there's also backside.
Yep.
So
I'll go through, you want to go through that?
you can go through that, I'm just letting you know that the sign on the back of the building is actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Two signs.
signs,
That
but
means
not,
you're-
and not facing, not facing.
That's news to me, was it,
It's in the town vote, plus we, also,
Okay.
because there's multiple tenants in that building.
Yeah.
The multi-tenant sign package. So there's a whole couple of things that have to happen on the signage, so.
Did you bring in material for that sign?
is it cold materials? No. You want me to share this? I'll go through it here. So good evening. My name is Ari Goldberg, law firm of Barclay Damon. I'm stepping in for my colleague Corey Auerbach. Brandon Nemec, PharmaCann is also on the Zoom call tonight. As we were just speaking, PharmaCann is proposing to take over 9,500 square feet of the existing retail store at 5841 Bridge Street. When we were here on January 11, this planning board recommendation to approve the specific use permit, go to the zoning board, and get that taken care of. That did occur on February 27th. That's why we're back here. Your January 11th meeting, you also, my understanding is 2 comments. It was to revise the architectural elevations to show the proposed window film and then to show the proposed sign. So we did exactly that. The elevations that were submitted, they were submitted February 22nd. They have a proposed window film on all elevations of the retail space. It's all the windows and all the glass doors, north, south, east, and west. In that middle, we were also cut sheets of the proposed film, which does confirm that the windows and doors that are glass, once the film is applied, will be 100% opaque. That's in line with state regulations for the use.
So there's no branding, advertisement, there's nothing,
Now,
it's just it's an opaque film.
film, and then obviously this we're showing here, the signage is what's going to be the branding.
Did you didn't bring a sample of the film, do you have an image of what the film looks like, or is it just, like, do we know what color Or,
There was the cut sheet with this middle container, I think it's like a. Close to a white gray, which means something like those lines.
Hey, Ari, I can jump in here. It's a
Alright.
Solix, SOLYX glass finish. It is a glossy white, completely opaque polyester film with 100% privacy. So it's completely opaque, and this is consistent with state regulations. The state regulators do not want anyone from outside to be able to view inside. So we're placing the opaque film on all of the windows, exterior windows, to ensure that no one can see inside.
There's something down there now.
On the window.
There is.
It's like a-
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a.
No, that one down.
Yeah. There was like an all blue film that was half advertisement.
Right,
Yep.
right. So I mentioned we could say that in the resolutions. We were gonna say to remove those, but
And then in terms of the signage, I know we just talked about possibly going to need to go back to zoning board, but in any event, the front facade signage. You can see it's the exact location as prior tenant signage. The only thing that's gonna be changing is the design. And then that's I believe this is the south elevation, north elevation signage. Sure, it's going to the left, but. It's the north elevation and same exact sign but on the other side. And that would be in parallel with the traffic on Bridge Street, so you see from both sides, the signage. And as Brandon mentioned, the window film is opaque, so no one from the outside,
it's parallel to,
meaning it's parallel with the traffic.
like this, Jean.
but it's in the back of the building, right?
It's in the back of the building, you
Yeah.
can see it heading south on Bridge
Okay.
Street, you can see the
That's
sign
good.
saying north.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
parallel is
not on the-
probably, no, poor choice of word.
No, because I looked at them and I
It's okay.
just want to make sure I was.
I know, but
Understand.
you, I don't want to speak against the baby.
So those were the two revisions, my understanding you requested at the January 11th meeting, but Brandon and I are both here to answer. Any remaining questions, and it sounds like take some direction on the second sign.
Yes, so the second sign, I mean. Really both of them approvable, but
So just with respect, we need to look at what's called a multi-tenant sign package and see what's in place. We're looking for that in the town to see if it's in place, otherwise the owner needs to show us that. You can find that in the design guidelines, show what we're looking for. So it's very well could be approvable, that front sign, we're just not ready to approve it tonight. The back sign is gonna need ZBA approval, that one, the planning board cannot approve.
Understood. And would it be is it a ZBA approval because there's too many signs, so it's an area variance for the quantity of signs?
Yes, and it's not facing a street,
Okay,
it's
it's
it's not
facing
on the
the,
street.
is the front facing the street?
No, but that's the front of the building.
Okay, I understand the difference.
so then. In addition with the film. That's there, and I think what Jenny was starting to point out, the white. On a light colored building. I would probably suggest you use it dark to match the frame color. For the ribbon windows. Along there. That you're showing. Around the entry, I don't think I have a problem with it around the entry. The tall floor to ceiling glass, but the ribbon windows, I think, are a feature of that building. That you don't wanna have white in there.
Brandon, can you speak to whether the window film color is regulated by the state?
I don't believe that the film color itself is. It's just
The opacity?
the requirement that it's opaque and unable to be seen from the outside.
So my recommendation on that one would be the film color for the ribbon windows that face towards Bridge. And on the back of the building, any of those strip ribbon windows match the frame color.
It is a bit deceiving on the elevations, only because I think you can see the note right there, but trees were removed, so you can see all the film. But I think irrespective of that, whatever color makes sense will be consistent across the board.
Yeah, we're happy to use dark film color if that's what the planning board recommends.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's the look that's the look that's there right now.
Like, so you see the line, it gives
Right.
it
Yeah, I
a
do.
horizontal line of the building and the images.
Yeah, it matches better with like the manila.
I agree, Nathan.
Right around the entry.
So the
Understood.
way,
Yeah, do you see the door frame color on that? The door, the
um,
black frame or is it silver?
so the window frames are definitely dark, the door frames are lighter. Like the doors look like painted and then aluminum and paint.
Right, okay. So that's why I think
Yeah.
those floor to ceiling ones are right around the entry.
Yeah.
Less of an issue. I think those ones could be white, that's what they call it.
Are you in a position to approve anything?
Well, yeah, we're gonna, I mean, you have your JPUs, I think with these comments, we'll make a condition in there. We'll get that taken care of, the sign is an issue, signs are an issue that we'll have to address, so we can work with you to get that taken care of.
Yeah.
In there, so we'll add a signage. For that. Issue.
So the film color for the ribbon windows is to match the green color.
Absolutely.
So we would ask them to submit the
Yep.
color.
Yeah, I say to the extent possible, I mean, that like one chroma key off or something.
Yes.
What
Within
we're
reason,
gonna do
within
is
frame.
submit the color. And it'll be reviewed administratively.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Comments,
Uh,
concerns?
Mr. Chairman, can I chime in? Just related to the signage, I was just having a little bit of trouble hearing and following. If we were to commit to the planning board tonight, if the backdoor sign is an issue, if we were to commit to remove that, would the planning board be able to grant us final approval tonight? Is that an option?
We're not quite ready to do that because of the sign regulation that says the sign has to follow the multi-tenant sign package for the building. So we need to check on how that comports with that package. So we'll get to it ASAP.
Understood.
Yeah.
And should we be thank you, council. Should we be looking out for additional direction as to how to
Yes.
comply? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We'll get in touch with you quickly about getting that done.
And it's Brandon, what's your last name? Should I show it up on?
First name Brandon, Brandon. Last name is Nemec. N is in Nick, E is in Edward, M is in Michael, E is in Edward, C as in Charlie.
Okay, thank you.
All right, with no other questions, I'm gonna read the resolution. Well,
Did you get a site plan?
You got sent earlier today,
Okay, so what's the final?
Eh.
Brandon. Brandon, was it today's? I think it was today's date.
Yep.
Seconds.
Yep.
Are we, one last thing on the elevations with the windows and the doors. I just looked at the imagery. And the door frames themselves were definitely painted. In this process, I just want to make sure that we're gonna be painting the doors to match the window wall systems that are there also, along with the window covers.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, the aluminum door systems, the doors themselves appear to be painted, at least in the images I'm looking at right now, like a light blue in some of the areas. And I know the aluminum frames on the windows are a dark tone with the dark tinted glass that's there now. And I think that if we're putting a film on the windows to coordinate with the aluminum frame system, which I think is absolutely the correct answer here, I think the doors themselves should be painted also to get in compliance with the frame system.
No.
And the door frames to match the window frames.
If they're painted blue,
Yeah, it's-
turn them back the way that they used to be. I don't think they are.
what were they used to?
They were aluminum or the same color as the building. but it looks like when they were doing some signage, they wanted to hide it, and so they may have wrapped it, and painted it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Safety.
Okay. So restore. Storefront frame.
Like said, the door,
Door.
not the door frame.
yeah, I see, they were painted like beige. But not, yeah.
Council, just to answer your prior question, they were dated 2/22, which is the date of the full resubmittal.
Okay.
And they were sent earlier to Doug and to you as well.
Okay, yeah, they weren't, there was not a date on them, over 2 weeks.
I thought he flipped them back with the date.
Pretty much.
Read on the screen.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read the motion.
Did you send it to Doug? Like
Yeah,
Doug-
they have a small date in the bottom right corner. The email was sent this morning at 9:34 a.m.
Was the date always there? We just couldn't find it? I just. want to know.
It just says see attached dated 2/22/24 and correspond with the date of resubmittal.
Okay,
So
so
it's probably not.
Doug, Leo have to upload that. Thanks.
Yeah, the issue is, I mean, that the policy in the department is and has been that runs have to come in on front drive. Oftentimes, the problem the department has, for whatever reason, they come in electronically, they don't transfer sometimes,
Okay,
so.
would you like the ones that were sent this morning resubmitted with Thunder?
Yeah, to the department, right?
There might be subsequent revisions too, considering our conversation here.
Right.
Ones we're gonna approve though are dated 2/22.
Subject to the conditions.
Subject to the
Okay,
conditions.
that's fine. Yes,
Okay. Motion to approve the site plan last dated 2/22/24. With the following findings and conditions. Findings, this is a site plan approval, change of use of a tenant. Of the multi-tenant building to cannabis dispensary. The planning board recommended to the ZBA on 1/8/2024 as the use be issued a special permit by the ZBA as required pursuant to 192-69.1 of the town code. The findings in said recommendation are incorporated by reference herein. ZBA granted the specific use permit on February 27th, 2024, and the findings and conditions therein are incorporated into this resolution. Further, the Onondaga County Planning Board determined on January 5th, 2024, that this application was exempt from GML referral. The board has reviewed the EAF of the applicant and finds no significant environmental impacts to this change in tenancy. And the existing site accommodates this tenant's, particularly with regard to parking and the site circulation of this existing structure, which are sufficient for the use. Conditions. 1, the site plan is approved with the following conditions. No signs are approved as part of this approval. Same will be reviewed separately by the planning board for compliance with the multi-tenant sign plan, the building and other code compliance issues. And a separate resolution regarding will be provided. The window coverings are removed from the current tenant location. No window signage is approved. With respect to the windows as well, we'll also have a condition that the window film is to match the frames at the original windows. And to restore the storefront doors to match the adjacent frames, is that correct? That's what we're looking to do. And with that, the conditions of the specific use permit granted by the zoning board of appeals be complied with. This approval is made with the further condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant, and requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or compliance be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions from the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the town code with section 92-422. I get a motion to approve. Kevin, have a second, in favor? Leif? You can't see it, so you gotta say A or I or nay. Or abstain.
Aye.
Alright, all in favor, thank you. Appreciate it.
you didn't happen to have a citation to those design multi-time design?
Um,
I mean, I could.
I do, and I will send it to you, if you give me your email.
I'm sure when they are. Let me stop your share. Yes.
And you also need to be here. Next up, we've got 6800 Partners LLC, property at 6800 East Tennessee. There's another one that we spent extensive time working with the applicant. They've gone back to the town board. After our last referral, and they're back to us. For site plan approval.
That's right.
Any large modification changes? Yes, seriously.
No modifications, no changes. As you last recall, we updated our sign package. You guys want the scenes or the architectural plans first?
I think the biggest issue that we want just confirmation on is the signage.
Sure. Okay, so I'll just flip through these. The only sheets that have been updated are the last two. And they're not anything new, you've seen these. So if you recall, this was, the 6800 was down here. These signs were in a completely different orientation. This is sort of what we landed on. There's the other side, this is the either entrance to the side.
Share the screen so that it needs to be.
Sorry, Leif. Quick, footprint hasn't changed, as you recall, the 6800 was down here. The signs were sort of over each door, and then they were kind of on these bands, and this has been the workshop with Steve Knight. So you guys.
Pause on this one for a second.
Yep.
Just, you can zoom in on that entrance a little bit. I think we had. Babe. All of those sides, the size shown where it's future, I think it was. Other drawing which actually had mentioned for that. Sign,
Maybe the next sheet.
so for that 6'6" by 4 foot,
Yes.
that is gonna be the limitation for all 4 signs.
Okay.
Because I don't think that we wanna have the Onondaga River be stretching all the way to the ends. So all 4 of those signs will have the limitation 4 foot wide, 4 foot high, 6'6" wide.
Right.
In those 4 locations.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
There's also.
So
Limitation
then it leaves a frame around each
around
side
each side.
Okay.
Side.
of seeing the finish.
Yeah, I mean, the out will match up, it's clean.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so 4
Yep.
foot, 6'6". And then colors on those signs. Have to be consistent. There's a patient for colors. For the signage.
So that could be the branded color of the overall sign. Versus each one that's our.
Right.
There's a limitation of 4 colors. So
all. We'll have to even get that for you. But know that, you know, we're gonna, the signage that's there, it's shown, we'll have to be. We'll get you the reference so you have it, you know what we're looking at. But we're not gonna look at. What's it, various colors. And then this is the other one. The building. The. Monument sign. The building name and building number. But no, I don't want the individual tenants.
Okay. Yeah. Are we still on this wayfinding sign?
parking lot, tree.
inside the parking lot, yes, but the top one. That's the one, so the wayfinding, that's when you kind of come into the entry drive, right?
Yeah.
Which is the other direction, that one I think we're okay with, but there, it is the monument sign out of the street. You have the building number and the building name. That's all, that's it.
All right, yeah, let's take a look at that package. See,
Well,
Yeah.
would you prefer that we not approve any of the signs and then we connect for full package review of it?
There's a lot of. I have to write a lot of.
We approve everything else and then just look at a sign package. So,
yeah, I think that would be fine with us, that's how we prefer.
Okay,
Yeah,
no signage will be approved as part of this.
yeah, that's fine.
In here. Yep. Okay. Any other questions on the? No? Good. Go ahead and read a resolution on this one. Good. Motion for the approval of site plan last dated on 31/4, including, not including. Excluding, let's go to excluding. Sign package, elevations. Yeah. But including. But including the elevations and accompanying site in documents for the following findings and conditions, findings. This project is approved herein. This project is approved herein.
and it puts
In
me,
accordance with all site plan considerations of this board, design guidelines, and specifically the provisions of section 192-64.4 of the town code, mixed use floating overlay district UB2. Planning board made a recommendation to the town board to modify the zoning for this parcel to mixed use village overlay floating district MUB2. All of the findings and recommendations
in,
are in said recommendation dated February 22nd, 2024 are incorporated by reference herein. The town board modified the zoning as recommended by the planning board by action dated 2/26/2024. The Onondaga County Planning Board referral dated May 17th, 2023 has determined that said referral will have no significant adverse intercommunity or countywide implications. The EAF for the applicant has been reviewed by this board. The board finds no significant environmental impacts related to this project.
so.
So
we're
I'm
gonna-
gonna skip this paragraph. Right, the whole
It's gonna
thing.
say instead, no signage is approved as part of this plan, the applicant will return with full sign package for review and approval.
What she said. Further conditions, the tenant signage previously approved through a prior ZBA approval along the top of the building is no longer in force. In effect, due to the change of use and implementation of the MUB overlay district, no variances are given in effect for this facility use. This recommendation is further made with a specific understanding of the board that the prior variances as related to signage will no longer apply, as this new zoning designation will allow for a new use, a new project, and is now located in a new zoning district. This approval is made with a further condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant, and requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions, the scope of work materials, and the site plan documents are approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to town code section 2-122. I have a motion.
Motion, it's written right, but are not approved, and you said are approved for those.
Yeah.
Not approved, yeah. Big capital work.
In big capitals, and he didn't read it.
Are not approved.
Motion, Jenny.
Jenny, second. Joe, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, just clean up the signage, I'll get you the reference for that one,
Great.
and then go from there.
Thanks, everyone.
That's good.
Your project was the subject of the county planning board yesterday and kind of
Really?
came up as yes, came up as a project that, you know, is a new mixed use project.
Good. Yeah, I hope to do more mixed use in DeWitt for sure.
Great, we look forward to it. Thanks. All right, Linden. Reference,
Yeah, we're here on Zoom.
okay. This is one,
Who's we?
Andy Myers and Phil Klass, we own the company that leases Linden.
welcome.
Andy and who?
Philip Klass.
Thank you.
Yep.
So this is one that kind of was sitting out there, we're waiting for DOT approval.
Yep.
Project, I think everything seems to be in order on this one as well. Do you have any updates or anything that we need to know of?
No, I think we have everything that the DOT needed for approval, and they did some things with water runoff from the parking lot. We have to dig a drainage area next to the parking lot so the water goes where they want it to go. It really isn't an issue. There's never been wet over there. And then we have our contractor ready to go. So when we get final approval from you guys, we can start the process to tear down the eyesore and move into the other building.
Good. Are there any further questions, comments from the board? This one? Okay, we'll go ahead and read the resolution on this one. Motion to approve the site plan as dated July 2023, drawing C201. And existing conditions, demolition plan C101 dated September 2023 with related documents, the following findings and conditions. This plan presents the relocation of the clubhouse for this golf facility to an existing former residential building on Route 92, and further calls for the demolition of the existing clubhouse and golf cart parking area, restoration to green space, which are currently located on Genesee Street. This presents a great improvement to the corridor facility. This board has reviewed the Onondaga County Planning Board referral of 11/1/2023, and the conditions therein are made part of this approval. The EAF of the applicant has been reviewed, and there is finding no significant adverse environmental impacts. Following conditions: 1, as per the Onondaga County Planning Board referral, the applicant must contact the New York State Department of Transportation to coordinate any right-of-way plans, including the proposed mid-block crosswalk and driveway alteration, which will require a highway work permit. 2, for the Onondaga County Planning Board referral, the New York State Department of Transportation drainage study or stormwater pollution prevention plan is required to show that the proposed development will not create additional stormwater runoff into the state's drainage system. The applicant must contact the department to determine the scope of the study. Number 3, the approval is made.
Yeah. Further condition.
It's me. Oh, yeah. Sorry. There's 2 conditions. And the, well, I know, but that's our standard.
Yeah.
This approval is made with the further condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, set for documents have been signed by the planning board chairperson, and the applicant requires that all the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for the certificate of occupancy with compliance to be issued. Of changes, additions, or deletions, the scope of work materials from the site plan document not. And are subject to the further site plan review pursuant to town of the code section 2. Their motion. Kathy, Jenny, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can I ask one quick question? As we transition, they're gonna grind out the old parking lot and use it as fill in the new parking lot. So it saves, obviously materials, and it helps us level that area that's gonna be the green space. Are we gonna be able to use the new building once we have the parking lot in? Cause we're losing the clubhouse as we gain the clubhouse, you know what I mean? So the certificate of occupancy waiting until the whole project is complete may be an issue.
That's your department thinking.
What we've asked for on other projects similar to this is just a phasing plan.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
If you could give us a phasing plan by your design professional that, X is gonna happen, then Y is gonna happen, so that we could get
Yeah.
a C of C or a C of O.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, underneath the proper design guide, design parameters, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Island Marble. Quick update on this one, another one that we've been working with a while.
Evening, my name is Brian Madigan. Sal's Maglia. Syracuse Tile and Marble, they're calling it a customer service warehouse. This is where they are going to bring marble. Tile products. It's gonna get a picture of the show on the screen.
I know you just said your name, but I wasn't.
Brian Madigan.
Right.
Where's the share?
So go down to Zoom at the bottom.
No, you gotta go to the iPads down below.
To the left, yep, right there. To the right. That one up. Yeah, that, yep, click there, then green button. And then share, button, right? Go. Thank you. Part of the test.
So this is just under 5,000 square foot customer service warehouse. The concept is that people go to the warehouse in East Syracuse where they cut the tile, they pick out their tile and marble. They cut it, package it, bring it to this warehouse, front load it. And when it's ready to be delivered to the property owner, usually a residential customer, they load it on a truck and take it out of the warehouse. It's a little bit under 5,000 square feet. We made one small revision since we last talked. I don't know, do I need to go through the entire or just?
No, just high level highlights. I think we asked you to move the door around to the side.
Yes.
Right,
So last time we spoke, I believe the only comments we had were on the architecturals. They wanted us to, you wanted us to move the entry door on the left-hand side of the building to the, I guess that would be the west side of the building.
Yeah, it was on like the southwest corner, and it just shifted around the side to the west side of the building.
So originally we had a door here. And the planning board suggested we move it around to the side. It's the same for ADA access. It wasn't a major change. So here is the side elevation. With the door and a window on that side of the building. Included the window to bring some light into the building. They're trying to get some of that southern exposure in there for some natural light.
Materials haven't changed from the last time that we discussed.
No, we have the board. It's all gonna be the marble. We did change the material on the front. If you recall, we had a cultured stone on the front. I think it was Leaf that suggested that we use the same marble across the front, so there's some very nice materials you can be using on the building.
What is the date on this drawing?
I believe it's February 9th. We dropped off a disc with the plan of this. These are the architects, so I can't beat the work. I believe it was February 9th. Now, the site plan, we got our DOT's approved it. They're just waiting for site plan approval, and Sal's got his bond ready to go. We worked up a pretty nice planting plan. As far as the signs are concerned, we're not trying to attract a lot of attention because this is not the destination. This is not a destination, so, we're not doing any ground signs or anything, so we did a nice planting plan. There may be a customer coming from time to time, but this is not like what they call a bottom feeder where people are coming and going in the warehouse. So we've got the 2 employees, 4 parking spaces, we've got 6 total on site. one handicap.
Okay. Good.
Anything else you wanna know or questions or?
Any questions?
If that's, can you the date of that site plan as well?
No, the site plans haven't changed,
Okay,
so it's only the architectural.
all right, so just for that went back from February 23.
Yeah, the two elevations that changed on the,
Okay.
on the building elevations.
No, February 23 is the original, or the site plan, I think.
Yeah,
And then
2/23, but the February 9, 24 is the
24.
elevations. No other comments? Read a resolution on this one. I will marvel motion to approve the site plan dated 2/22/23 and the building elevations last dated February 9, 24. The following findings and conditions. Board has reviewed the Onondaga County Board, Onondaga County Planning Board referral of 9/20/2023. With the conditions therein are made a part of this approval. The EAF of the applicant has been reviewed and there's no finding. There is a finding of no significant adverse environmental impacts. Conditions. Number one, per the Onondaga County's Planning Board referral, the applicant must continue to coordinate New York State Route 290 access plans with the New York State Department of Transportation. The municipality must.
that sounds good.
Okay. Step number two, or should the applicant must contact the New York State Department of Transportation to coordinate any right-of-way plans, which requires a work permit. The municipality must require delineated wetland be shown on the site plan to ensure that no structures or parking occur within the wetland or its 100-foot buffer prior to or as a condition of the municipal approval. The municipality must minimize exposure to damage from natural hazards and uphold local flooding ordinance requirements as required for good standing in the National Flood Insurance Program. The municipality must ensure that any proposed development will not negatively affect drainage patterns in the flood. So this approval is made to the further condition that this approval of the plans and other submitted documents, sent to the documents that have been signed by the chairperson. And the applicant requires that all the work shall be completed by the applicant for the certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued, and changes, additions, or deletions, the scope of work of materials for site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan reviews pursuant to section 2. I will move on this one for a second.
I believe the date, right? 2/18/23, the date of the application is.
I put 2/18.
Not 2/9.
Well, February 9, 2024 is the elevation.
Oh, it's the 2/22. It's 2/18.
2/18/23. Site
Site
plan,
plan.
Yes, that's it.
February 9, 24, the elevation.
Yes.
I will move, is there a second? Jenny, all in favor? Aye. Wave?
Aye. My button won't work.
Forget about that.
No, trying to hit mute.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. 440 Newports. Another one that we've worked a while on. Go ahead.
All right, as you know, this project's been before the board before, we're here for the subdivision. Admittedly, I am a sub on this project, but if you take a look here in our first plan, There's an existing building that's going away. This is all paved, sort of combining at this line here. So that the two sites are one. This area is gonna be green now, some planting areas in it. Cleaning up the parking, it's 22 spaces, one handicap space. Some buildings.
Nathan, can you share the screens?
So good, Sharon, you can't see it?
No.
Stop and reshare. It's weird. How about now? You all good?
That worked.
Okay, great. So those saying, this is the existing building to be demolished. Here's the property line. This is paved. The major moves on the site. This is to be greened up, so planted with some stormwater. And 22 spaces being added, one handicap, some minor facade updates. Circulation's better, the site's more, it's kind of like consolidated. Generally makes more sense.
So this is another one that we discussed, I think.
Yeah.
Questions on this one? So, thank you, Bill. The subdivision, we have a site plan for site. So, subdivision first. This one. Motion to approve the subdivision map dated 10/16/2023 with following findings and conditions. This is a simple subdivision of land under the code and as no new lots are created. This involves movement of lot lines. The lots herein consolidated are for the convenience of the owner and to complete further improvements for a site plan in this industrial district. Accordingly, in light of the above, this board waives public hearing requirement for subdivision as permitted by the code where there are no new lots created and there is no public interest in the lot line adjustment. This board has reviewed the Onondaga County Planning Board resolution of 12/13/23. Found no significant adverse intercommunity or countywide implications. This board has also reviewed the EAF submitted by the applicant and issued a negative secret declaration for the project, finding no significant adverse environmental impacts. Applicant must file the subdivision map with the Onondaga County Clerk's Office in accordance with the rules of Onondaga County and provide a copy of the stamped file map with the town of DeWitt Department of Planning and Zoning. So the motion, Joe, Kevin, all in favor?
Aye.
That is the first. Site plan resolution. Motion to approve the site plan and related documents dated 10/30/2023, including elevation rendering dated 12/13/2023 with the following findings and conditions. Board has reviewed the EAF submitted by the applicant and issues a negative secret declaration for the project, finding no significant adverse environmental impacts from the project. Board has reviewed the Onondaga County Planning Board resolution of 12/13/2023, found no significant adverse intercommunity or countywide implications. Okay. So I guess. Okay. The parking spaces in this newly consolidated site are 22 spaces pursuant to 192-103, which provides that where a new use is legally established with deficient required parking, the new use may be established with a deficiency, provided the intensity of use is not increased and is a use legally established. In this case, the intensity of use is lessened where there is only one and not two warehouse buildings, what was previously two separate sites. There is in effect a net increase of spaces on the site. Additionally, the use remains as industrial warehouse retail. Accordingly, this board finds that the parking spaces on the site are sufficient as presented. Conditions. The site plan approval is conditioned upon the applicant filing the subdivision map as per the subdivision approval issued at the same date. This approval is made with the further condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson, and the applicant requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review. Code section 192-122. I will move on that one. Is there a second? Joe, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Burn Dairy. Yeah. Is there a representative from Burn Dairy, or we're just gonna jump right in?
No.
Right.
There she is. There's Darlene.
She was pacing herself.
Good evening, all.
Hey, Darlene.
How are you?
How are y'all?
Good. Can we get I just wanna, has everybody had a chance to look at the signage that was there? Okay. If there are no further comments. The resolution for this one. Welcome, we'll make this quick and painless. Motion to approve the site plan dated, last dated 12/28/2023. With the sign package dated 3/4/2024 is approved with the following findings and conditions. Applicant has presented a site plan which proposes minor changes to the site. Where the site is now utilized as business offices for Burn Dairy. It is contiguous to the main high-tech site where operations of the Ultra Dairy are situated. Due to the nature of Lion Street, this board determined that it would be imprudent to allow truck traffic to cut from Lion Street through this site and onto the main operation site. Accordingly, the site plan and sign package herein reflects the steps taken to address this matter and specifically provided for signage that would address the matter. Conditions: in the event the signage is found by observation or other confirmed neighbor information do not appropriately address the issue of preventing excessive traffic in and out of the Lion Street entrance exit to this site, the matter will return to the planning board to ensure other options to control traffic, including but not limited to the gating of the access between the two parcels. The cross-access easement for the parcel revised and dated March 14th, 2024 is approved and is a condition of this approval. Must be executed and filed with the Onondaga County Clerk and proof of same delivered to the town planning office. This approval is made with the further conditions that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents. Site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson, the applicant, and requires that all work shown be completed by the applicant in order for the certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials for the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to Town of DeWitt Code, section 192-122. May I have a motion? Kathy? All second, all in favor? Aye. Unanimous, well.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you. All set.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. They'll be in touch.
Okay, thanks, Darlene.
Okay, we're into our concept. Done reading?
It's on reading.
I feel like everybody's rushed, reading along with me. Okay, first up, we have the underground beer line, 760,000 Airways Park Drive.
Our drawings up, I'm Bob Haley, an architect, or
Do you have a dump drive or?
I have one, and I think you have one, but I have one as well.
Yeah, there's a computer.
It's behind the TV, about a third of the way from the top. Not that one.
No, it goes into the box that's mounted to the wall, not the cables.
The box,
Oh, up top?
yeah.
Hang on a second. Yeah. Got two slots, I guess. So, it's a white question. Silent. I have a little trouble seeing that. I love the monitor.
The other thing that we're gonna have to do is share the screen. Doug, can you help share the screen?
Here, let me. keep it. Okay, let's go with the, yeah, this is Kevin Taylor. There you go, you got it. I think you had it up there. There it is, either one or two, not sure which one. Try the Try the top one, see if you get a site plan. Try the other one. Go, yeah, go back to, I think we're on a different drive. Yeah, cool. Now next one down, try the next one right there.
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks.
So we're doing a concept presentation.
Concept presentation. And you think
10 minutes.
I could do it shorter than that. Basically, this is an existing building.
Yep.
It's an existing tenant who is brewing very good beer. Kevin Taylor's online, one of the partners. The space, I know this is the easiest way to do it. The space they have right now, this is what we want to do. Their space right now is this big, right about here. You'll see it in the next drawing. They want to take out everything that's in here, which came through you, I think, 2.5 to 3 years ago, and go to a new demising wall in an existing building and build 2 offices, a cooler, a boiler room, and a storeroom. These are 2 existing toilet rooms, handicap existing toilet rooms in the new space. In other words, the demising lines here. Listen, if you could go back, let's see the best way. I'm sorry, this was the site plan, which we did not have initially. Site plan for the entire property. Here is the building here. This is the, which road, Fly Road, sorry. And the entrance is off of the Airway Park Drive, going to the existing building. The current entrance door here, and the truck dock is here. The space they have is about this big. Please stop me if you want to talk more about the site plan, otherwise we'll go ahead. Let's go to the next. Now you can zoom down a little bit. Thank you for doing this. This is what I would try and do. Hold down a little bit. Are we sharing the screen with everyone?
It's just up top, so you.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Thank you. This is the site plan. Here is the building right here. This is the proposed new space. That's the portion of the building. It's about 3,000 feet, 3,006 feet. This building's 28,000 feet, I believe. The parking entrance is here right now. Right now, the parking's here and the service dock is here. There are other tenants. Pardon me?
What is the rest of the building?
It's let's see, there's warehouse or manufacturing. In other words, it's I'm sorry, it's a construction business. I'm not sure the office in the front. I just don't know it. And I apologize. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what parking is required for the other tenants.
Yeah, I can jump in there. Yeah, so other tenants in the building right now is a Sherman Construction, so a construction company, and Downey Metal, who's also the landlord.
Is it office use?
For Sherman Construction, they have 2 offices in there. For Downey, they have 2 offices in there, and the rest is manufacturing space or warehouse space.
But so a parking count needs to be established based on the existing and proposed uses, essentially, to come up with a parking count for the overall site. And that's, parking will have to be provided on the site and laid out properly.
Right.
I do want to know that the spaces you're showing on the left side there, across the property.
I know, it's part of my presentation.
Yeah.
What you're speaking to is that this property line is dimensioned right here. It's on the drawings you have, and I have another set here if anybody needs them tonight. The property line goes to here. And it is more parking in a double lot, another manufacturing building over here. This area, I'm showing you what is intended by the owner of the building for this tenant that's here tonight to look for moving ahead on a construction permit for small demolition, partial demolition. We can get the answers you need. And you're saying you need?
Well, if that's going to go off your site, you'll maybe an easement or some other, a property line adjustment, something to.
Is that parking intended to be part of this building?
Yes,
It's on
as
the-
this, from my understanding, and we can get clarification from the owner of the building, is that this is the property line. And these spaces that is included here, as 34 total spaces, is partially on a zone here that is used kind of now for, in fact, it's not used much at all except for cars. I should have brought an aerial photo because
Well,
it
so
shows you, yeah.
you're gonna have to provide an updated site plan. Clearly showing the building, like an actual
The previous,
survey,
yeah,
clear updated survey with a site plan.
the
drawing.
previous plan was, what is the survey for the property?
How old is that survey?
It's the one, not sure, it is the one that's provided for that building by the owner.
So you'll have to have a site plan that shows the building with that survey information on it. Showing where all of the parking is. The parking, and you're gonna need a table on there, which is showing all of the tenant spaces. The required parking spaces for each one of those tenant spaces in there, and then where they will be located on the site. Those parking spaces.
This,
Yeah.
let me just try and help me out a little bit here just for this. I'm coming here to present a concept for a permit to do an interior demolition of about 1,500 feet to double the space of a tenant. So we are not responsible for the building, if I can say it that way. I'm trying.
Yeah, you're responsible for the whole parking field.
Right.
No, we're not.
Well, yeah, the building is.
No, I'm not the owner.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Then the owner is,
Well, then,
frankly, but
I understand. No, I understand very well. your
That's why I
point.
asked when you started, does it meet the parking requirements for the whole building? Because you're having a different use.
Yeah.
And so will the parking be sufficient for your new expansion?
Well, the parking for the, as I understand it, it's not a different use. It's parking for manufacturing, I believe.
is there a tasting room?
There is a tasting, not a room. There is an area that there's a cooler and a counter, and there's beer in the cooler that is used a few times a week, certain hours. Yes, there is a tasting space. If, the interesting thing about the tasting space, and yes, there is a tasting space, this is primarily manufacturing. And a portion of it's been set up with some tables and some tasting.
So that space needs to be defined, it needs to be
It is.
quantified,
It
which
is.
space that is.
Maybe I could go through the rest of the presentation and we can, if you would like. I'm trying to show you,
Yeah.
this is a concept plan.
Right,
We're trying to get at these issues of parking
Yep.
as well as you are.
so but we need to look at the site as a whole. I mean, we understand
Okay.
you're part of the project, but
Right.
with your improvements that are there, it
Right.
doesn't alleviate the need for adequate parking
So
for
you,
the
you,
entire site.
should we ask the owner to submit to, I'm not sure the best way out of this. I understand what you're saying. You want a current status for the entire building, even though we're a tenant.
We need a chart on a site plan that says these tenants need this amount of parking by the way that they're set up, whether they're warehouse or office.
Okay.
How much parking they need, and then how much parking is shown on
I
site,
understand what you mean.
okay, so that we can look at the overall site.
Good, and help me clarify this, because again, I am the architect helping the tenant do their interior planning. And the landlord is providing for this tenant their space and obviously the parking for their need.
So then I would suggest the owner gets a civil engineer or somebody on board to help out with the site planning aspect. If you're
Yeah.
truly just focused to the interior.
Yeah.
Then the owner or whoever is looking at the balance of the site needs to have a professional helping out.
Okay. We can request that.
That prior to being able to give them a seat, a certificate of occupancy, because they'd have to prove that they had sufficient parking and wouldn't be putting the rest of the tenants out of parking.
Yes. If we
I
take
have-
it into consideration.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a question, is that if the property lines going through those parking spaces?
Yes,
Okay,
that's clear. These,
what legal right do they have to use it on the property that are processed?
I can't answer that. We can get that answer for you. That's the owner's responsibility. And the two attorneys have been talking back and forth. We can make this clear. I'm surprised at your questions, though.
There is a provision, I can't find it right off the bat, where their parking can be within 500 feet. I think it's in the industrial zone as well.
We,
like off-site parking.
well, yeah, and we were led to understand that this area, I really apologize for not bringing the aerial. Because you can see that this is about this wide. It's enormous. And there's another building, and this area is a shared zone between. Now, you can almost flip this plan and double it. In fact, they're back to back. It'll even show that this is one space, that there's actually two spaces.
Double loaded, yeah.
So it's a 60 foot, 60 feet from here to here, and another 60 foot from here to here, which was the original plan for the building of all this entire complex. So that's how we laid out these plans for other.
We still, the way that we have to look at it.
Yeah.
Right, is right now, the parking stalls, extend over that part.
That's clear. Let me ask that. Continue.
So it should be-
You to get the concept.
One of three.
Yes.
Yes. this is-
Yep.
Yeah, those are
Yep.
good. Right, right.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So with that, I think, is that a patio space?
Yeah, let me go on with this. We've only got a few more slides. I'm over by 10 minutes. Wouldn't you know, it'd be that hard. But let's go to the next slide. If this is clear, you can see the new space. Right now, their space is this big. This is the new space within this complex. So excellent. So, and again, if we can either zoom in, zoom out. Go full screen, you can do full screen. That's okay. This is small. This is fair. Sorry. Here's the building. We've shown just the new space. Yes, these are the spaces that are shared. Again, we're very clear about where the property line is. Not trying to hide anything. Not trying to hide anything. We're not trying to speak face. This is an outside patio. This is an existing overhead door, existing service area. Thanks, you're doing great. And we're in the summertime only, obviously, or seasonal times, this overhead door go up. The serving area is just this area inside here. We'll show you on a plan in a second. But we're putting on an area, a removable wooden platform. So it'll be wood, almost like palletized, but it'll have foundation posts, so that you can walk straight out, because this slopes down a little bit for the truck docks. Now you can go, the entrance is here. And we can go to the next image. Scroll up the page here, it's not another page. If you could. Thank you. So this is the appearance for the outside deck area coming through the overhead door. That's an existing service door right now. This is a new sign requesting over the existing doorway. And again, inside right now, the space is about this big. You can go to the next one.
Is that deck existing?
No,
No.
it's new. It's proposed deck, which would be wooden and removable, concrete pads. And, in some way, very light construction that could be moved. But I also should say, that if you can go back one,
Need to be
we're
moved.
adding, pardon me,
Why does it need to be moved?
if we need to move it, we're making it as temporary as possible.
So what are the trees? Are they
Well,
planted in
yeah,
the ground?
I was just gonna say, I missed that previously. We're gonna put 3 to 4 trees on either side of that. They will be put in and permanent. The only permanent here is to reduce the amount of construction costs, and we're a tenant in the building. That's the other reason.
So how are the rails staying up? How are those walls staying up?
They're all 4x4 posts and full 42 inches high, fully structured into the frame. So it's all part of the wood platform. There'll be the posts supported up. There'll be inlaid panels for the floor. So it's not a palletized system, but it's light and just sitting on the ground so we can take it out if need be.
But you can't exit that. You have to go back through the building.
Pardon me?
You can't
No,
exit the
there's a
deck. You have to go
sidewalk
back through the building.
between, there's a sidewalk between
Yes.
the building.
Yeah, this is a handicap.
Okay.
Right now, this is the handicap entrance. And this is a little ramp here, and this would come straight out at that level, which is at the level. Yeah.
Yeah, those windows, that's a giant garage door.
This is a giant overhead door, garage.
They're not
Yeah.
accepting customers. They.
Yeah, it's a
they
roll-up
have
and
space
service
for a
door
lot of
and garage.
customers.
So it's all the way up.
We're
to
not a
the
restaurant. We don't have anything.
But I asked earlier and they were like, no, they don't do
Can I-
that there.
Next slide, please. Next, let's scroll, next page. We're getting there. This is the elevation. And there's no change here. We had an overhead door on this side in the submission you have in front of you. We're not gonna do that at this time. Notice we were gonna put another overhead door on the side to get more light in. That's not gonna happen, so I have revised drawings for you. And this is the sign proposed over the door. It's a box sign. It complies with the signage dimensions and location.
Are there other signs out there?
No, I think they use a sign in the window right now, to tell you the truth.
Well, what about the other tenants?
That's theirs up here. I don't even know what it is. I think there is a sign up here on the street.
There used to be, sorry, Bob, there used to be a big, kind of, outdoor sign on the road that they removed, I would say, a few years ago. And right now the other tenants just have small signs. Nothing.
But there are other signs for the other tenants on the building.
I don't even know if it's on the bill. I think they're just on the doors.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You need to understand that. I mean, that falls under kind of that multi-tenant
That's,
signage package.
yeah, and I need to get that clear on what you're asking of the building owner and what. Our application tonight is trying to get a permit to do interior renovations.
Well, we're not approving anything tonight.
I know that was a concept, yes.
Yeah, so I think the way that the process will work, we'll go through, concept. I think you've done a great job presenting this to us. We'll take the information that you've given us, we'll do an internal review and provide you comments from there. Those will have some direction, some reference to the signage package and parking requirements, et cetera, in there that you need to see as part of the checklist of things that you've got to do. Those materials will come back to us, which we'll do a preliminary and.
Yeah.
I mean, if there, we can do maybe preliminary and final, but.
I understand. I'll tell you very frankly, I'm an architect, I've done this for a lot of years, but we're different. I appreciate very much today how you asked another tenant about the tenant signage package as part of the project, because that's a huge design issue. I fully believe in that helps in Syracuse. Doesn't have that in most cases yet, but we're trying to. But the point here is to divide what a tenant is required to do and not put on the burden of the tenant to do the buildings, solving the buildings problems that may have existed. So yes, we're going to get you the answers on the parking and the signage for this project. And we're going to make the request to the owner that we hear from your notes, clarification. And then to give us guidance on the easiest way to get a permit for renovations. This is great. I have two more slides just to finish it.
Finish right, and then.
Good, we can.
We'll do the review and we'll get you comments.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah. Okay, this one you can zoom out of. It just shows you there. All of the work that we were doing primarily is to take the current space, which is here, and show their new equipment that's coming. Much of this stuff has been ordered, and they're taking out, go to the net, and this is a new cooler. The current cooler is here, 2 new offices. You can go to the next slide here if you would, because it shows the existing space. Now here is the whole space that we have, and that's that little piece. This is the current space right here. The cooler is here, and everything is on pallets. The grain that comes in and everything else. And there's one office in here, another way. So this is the area we're expanding into, taking out all of these walls. And if you go to the next one. There are 2 existing, as I said, 2 existing handicap toilets in the new space. This is the plan for the new space. So essentially, we want to get out of here and put in a cooler with a cooling wall, a boiler room, and this is cooler expansion, and 2 offices and 2 existing toilet rooms. Go ahead, please. That'd be great. And this is for what is the existing condition now. And this is their space now, and this is the new space here, and this is some technical details for the first space. So this is the project we're trying to move on. So any other questions? Appreciate your time.
No, I think we'll take the information that's provided to us. We'll get you comments. So we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. And I just told us.
Yep. Luck Grove should be fairly easy when we have any representatives from Luck Grove. Nope. Great, thank you. Appreciate it. So that one's just gonna be a simple installation of 2 electric vehicle charging stations. So. Yeah. Star Canine.
I'm Jean Goldman, I'm Lisa McCormick. And we're partners for Star Canine Community Training Center for Dogs. And we're looking at 6 Adler, so we're here to request a change from its current, from its previous use to dog training.
Which was the previous use.
We think manufacturing, because Northern Circuits was there way back when.
It's been empty ever since 2013, am I right? So
Yeah.
it was just recently sold, and now we're trying to move in, and we just wanted to make sure that everyone we local is using the space.
Are there any exterior site modifications?
Yeah.
You know, it's looking at the aerial. Space behind it.
Yes.
Using that space for training.
Not lucky.
Maybe using
For the
it
most
to-
part, yeah.
So there's no fencing or anything. you
Nope,
need to put up.
We know if there is, we will be coming back. But as of right now, everything we need is inside. So we'll have an agility ring. I don't know if you've ever seen the dog stuff on TV, you know, up and over the A-frames and the cheaters. We'll also have community dog training, so people that get new puppies and want to have a happy household. And not have, you know, problems at home with their new dog. We'll be providing that kind of trainer. We've got, or training, we've got several professional dog trainers that we were working with and that we've worked with for many years.
And there won't be boarding there, so it's not an overnight facility at all. It's gonna be run only in business hours, so it's not gonna disturb anyone else in the area.
We will run from 8 AM till about the latest would be about 9:30. There is some kenneling while the dog is in class, right? But we're a good distance, the size of the site is 1.26 acres. And there is, the building length is 154 feet. So the rest is in grass space between the building and the residential area.
Is all the space behind. Roll up.
No,
There is
only for moving things in possibly. We do have the bay door that comes up, and that would be for us to move our stuff in, but that's about it, what we're gonna be using it for.
My concern is summer nights.
We have air conditioning. That's the whole reason why we wanted this building.
You don't wanna
so they had
open it, the
conditioning.
dog could run out.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
You can put a gate across it.
Yeah.
My concern is with the neighbors in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Well, we're in a very industrial area as well, except for just a back end has a couple homes in the very far end.
Yep. Okay,
We're very concerned about parking and stuff.
so there's no other exterior site modifications, any signage or anything like that?
We have our Halloween, and then we're hoping to get more people from the community to come on in.
Okay, we will continue to review this. You are on track A, so the next meeting that we'll have you, it would be the first meeting in April.
First meeting, okay.
If it's a simple change of use, I think we can probably take care of that.
Yeah, I mean, unless someone thinks that there needs to be any improvements to the outside, I mean, it's fairly innocuous, but.
So we'll review that, we'll get you any comments that are necessary.
Excellent.
The dates for submission.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you so much.
appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Oh,
No worries. Here's a question, ladies. Do you want us to proceed with comments or do you want us to hold off? I know you were having some lease issues. You know, once we start in, we'll start eating into the consultant fee.
I think it's okay to go ahead, so if we won't be coming back to April, right? We should.
Well, would we be able to, let's say, well, she's saying, should we wait before she starts eating up the feed.
Not me, I don't need it.
Well, let's say if we find out that there's not gonna be, that there's not gonna be a moving forward before the meeting. Would that be okay to let you know at that point?
So, well, we would need enough time to react, so if you're saying, hey, hold off, then we won't go to that next step and do comments.
Okay,
If you think you're gonna be like, yeah, we want to, then we need a couple weeks to give comments.
yes, okay.
So it would be a couple of weeks before the next meeting in April, which is, I know the next meeting.
It's 4 weeks away, pretty much.
4 weeks away.
Oh, so we would know by two, you would want at least a 2-week wait.
More than that, right?
Well, we would want to have at least 2 weeks to give
The 11th.
your comments, right? If you
Right, so
think you're
the
gonna.
next submission deadline is the 28th this month.
Okay,
So any modifications that would need to be made, I mean, we would try and get comments completed prior to that, to you guys.
okay.
But we will look to have you on at the meeting on the 11th. In there.
So we'd have to have an answer by the 28th of this month.
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point, we wouldn't have an opportunity to get you comments, so that's what.
Right, if you want to hold off, yeah.
So do we wanna go forward and then we can call if there's any issues and let them know?
Well, there,
Let me put it this way, I don't think it's gonna cost you that much money if you think it's gonna work and you want us to keep moving forward, you know.
We're
Yeah.
sure hoping it's gonna work.
yeah, we're just, and again, just dealing with some lease issues and some
Right,
environmental issues, so we just want to make sure that everything's
right,
hunky-dory before we sign a lease, that's why.
of course.
So,
Well, why don't you take a couple days and then you can call the department and talk to Doug Miller.
All right, perfect.
okay.
Let him know.
Great.
We will. Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And then Taco Bell by 5843.
I'm gonna apologize to Lee for going old school, cause we both had a busy week and didn't have time to put things on thumb drive today, but. I called
Hold on to the camera.
I called my guy and said, plot that out, I'll pick it up on my way through. Where's the camera? You see that, Leaf?
He's seen the digital.
Matt Naparella and Naparella Consulting.
I got it, Matt.
Thanks, Lee. Mike McCracken, Hospitality Restaurant Group. So Mike's gonna lead this discussion. I've been working with Mike on a few of his restaurants in the area, but this is a new one for me, but Mike is working with Mr. Morocco at this facility, so I'll let him lead into the conversation.
Hello to everybody. I think I recognize a lot of faces. I was here about 40 pounds lighter, but I was here to get the approval for the restaurant DeWitt, or the Thompson Road restaurant, excuse me. We have a site here that we've just put under contract. We're proposing a 40-seat restaurant, basically the same exact building that you see over on Thompson is what we're hoping to do here. It sets up well. The drive-through use would be around the back of the building as it is related to Bridge Street. I know I've heard recently that you amended the code a little bit with drive-throughs, but this still would circulate around the back of the building. There's plenty of queue lane. We left this other area to the outside of the building between the hotel and the proposed building open. We don't know. I mean, it's a lot of green space. There may be a future use, but as far as our application goes, we wouldn't be addressing that today. I just put it in there because of late, we've done some projects where there's extra property. We find that a lot of times you may get a little bit more interest just because the Taco Bell's there. You might want to get a Verizon there, a T-Mobile, some other building to use the additional acreage. The important factor to this site for us is going to be the access, because for us, it's very, very important that there isn't a long circuitous route to get in and out of the restaurant. Hence the name, quick service restaurant, QSR. It's very important that our access points are safe, that we have traffic light access where available. And so what we're proposing here is we are proposing a new driveway on Enterprise. a good bit away from the traffic light, but it is really integral to the project that we have some sort of traffic light access to take left-hand turns on the Bridge Street. We do realize that's a very, very busy street. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. We're proposing a brick exterior, cornice, all the same types of elements that we have over on Thompson Road. And even the front of the building sets up well. You look at the former Carmela's, this building will be sitting almost exactly where that is. We're even proposing the same type of site circulation and parking with the round parking in the front. But the front this would be facing, if you were coming off the 690 and you were heading south, this is what you see the front of the building. And then the rear of the building, this would be the back corner that you see if you were heading north, coming past the dump tire. So, and it's just right now, what we'd like to do is we'd like to come in to maybe an informal meeting in the morning, a workshop, and have a more complete package to discuss.
So we understand. We've got the Bridge Street DOT issues to work through, so we haven't even gone phase 1 yet with DOT. But again, as Mike said, the integral part here is off of that sweeping enterprise ring there to be able to gain that full access. I believe at one time if Carmela's was there was an access point coming into that point. We'd like to maintain that and open that up for, as Mike said, for that reason. And then our end of it would be certainly, the site development pieces with stormwater management and dealing with the pre to post condition issues with regards to that. But should be relatively straightforward, and I think we all know the turnover that's occurred at that corner, and I think that's why the access is so important, because it seems to be every time someone tries to get in there, it doesn't really work out after 18 months or something. So, the other restaurant, Taco Bell, is interested in the site, and I think it would fit well in that corridor.
And what we're gonna try to ferret out early is that access, because we have a little bit of a time constraint. This would be a replacement for our Erie Boulevard. So we'd be coming out of Erie Boulevard and just turning everything over, operations over to here. There's some timing issues when we have to make a decision and notifications to our landlord. We like that site as well. We just think this is a little better site long-term. That's a lease situation. The owner group likes to own now. The buildings are a lot more expensive than they used to be to build. So that's kind of how you unlock the value by, finding a very good site with very good visibility. That will impact the roadway as little as possible. And I think this site sets up well. I think the exiting traffic coming out of the drive-through, you've got a long exit queue. There's little or no risk of cars backing up in either location. I mean, I think we've got almost 16 or 17 cars up to the window.
When we talk about the parking, you'll get a full set of comments from us, but the queuing cannot go into the parking field.
Okay, yeah.
So you're gonna need, I think, 6.
It's 6 prior to the menu board, 4 between the menu board and. Pick up what you pick.
Yep. And we'll show all that for you guys, so we'll show to scale
on there.
Yeah.
In initial.
Well, it's minimum of 6,
Right.
by the way.
How many are at the existing site? Because it always backs up.
Yeah, they are. That design is not good. It's shorter. It's definitely shorter. That has a quick, sharp turnaround, and the order point is literally like as you first pull in the parking lot, the order point right in your face. There's hardly any queuing. That's another reason for us wanting to relocate. And the building's tired. It's at a point where we have to reinvest. So if we're gonna reinvest, do we want to reinvest there, or would we rather own the parcel? So that's another driver for this location.
And you own all of it, all the green part too. You were talking about possibly another building, but
This is the green part is the parcel.
Okay.
Yep. Currently owned by Dave Morocco, and that's what they're under a contract for the entire. And I think with regards to the queuing and that overall length, we have some opportunities here as well. I mean, right now we're engineering parallel and perpendicular, making things, so boxy. But there's the ability to kind of stretch that back and get that length as well, so I think, you know, we haven't. Gone to that level, this was the first crayon sketch and we need to tighten it up.
The other concerns that we have, access, you know, you brought those up and they're gonna be a real concern. Especially with people going out onto Bridge Street, even right and left. You know, I think there's no way that you're gonna. You can prevent people from going south and turning left into the.
Cannabis sales
Directly
area after,
across the street.
before, after the.
Yeah.
Why would you think somebody would go from there to there?
Just straight across.
I mean, that's their whole marketing gimmick of why they're moving.
Value add, right?
This utilizes the existing curb cut, well, we would limit the motion with curbing, so it wouldn't be a matter of just a sign to the ground, we'd have. Curving so that it wouldn't be an easy thing to try to make a left-hand turn out of a right.
Well, I'm more worried about the people
So-
coming down Bridge Street trying to make the left-hand turn because they missed the stoplight. I mean, the way for somebody coming from 690 to get to this site is to come to that Enterprise light, make the left and come into the property that way.
So on another project, I introduced Mike to Gordon Stansberry, GTS, so we'll bring Gordon on board. And we'll look at that. I know Gordon's done work up and down the corridor here. He did community bank for us years and years ago, so. We'll bring Gordon in to take a look at those movements and give us a TIS for this area and we'll get his thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, I know he's gonna need to show that entrance on the curve is.
That makes me.
And that's why we want to get into this or even to a work session because. I understand that as well. I mean, when we see that, the geometry of that is the way it is. And we're trying to show that at the apex, so you do have that, but it is a sharp curve, there's no question about it.
The curve. Are you gonna have, then in the stacking area of the.
Of the left and right.
Area. Yeah, so I mean, that's seems awful.
Yeah, I mean, on initial view of this, there are concerns in terms of the circulation around this. So I think there's gotta be some further study of kind of what's going on at the site. I think the use is probably great for that area. It's fine. I think there's site circulation issues that are in need of further review. So yeah, we can look. You're on track A, so you're again part of the 11th meeting would be your next one, so we would look to have you on. If you wanted to do a work session. The next available work session will be the 26th. Do we have anyone scheduled for the 26th at this point?
No.
So you could be on for the 26th, at which point.
Let me reach out to Gordon tomorrow morning, because again, it sounds like it's critical for us.
Yeah.
And it's critical for you, and let me just see what his. Timing is to be able to get us at least a draft, and then we can have a conversation.
When did your lease expire? Well, we've got a long time as far as the build, but we have a notice period that's like. Sometime in the summer. So that's where we just at least, again, it is critical. I mean, access to a restaurant like this is absolutely critical. It would be a non-starter if we couldn't get access. We have to come in way over here, and that becomes such a circuitous route that it'll hurt the business.
Yeah.
About it. My initial thought here is that this is in a very, Enterprise is kind of a lighter used street. It's just the tenants that are back there, you can't really access it from anywhere else, so it's kind of a dead end area. So I understand though, completely understand that you don't wanna have cars coming into the light. It is a single lane to get over there, but there's two lanes over there, so understood.
Okay.
We know the issue.
Yep. Good, so we'll set you up for the 26th or.
Yes, that's up today,
Let
and
us
then
know.
I'll reach out to Doug in the next day or two.
Coordinate with Doug.
Tomorrow's Friday, maybe Monday. Let me see what I can do.
26 will work. I don't think we have anything else to keep it up.
Okay, so yeah, let's pencil in for that, and if I can't get at least Gordon to give me an opinion, then I'll let you know and we'll push it.
Okay. Great,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Clear the room again.
And, oh, Kevin's first.
No, I just have a few more things. Oh, kidding. One more thing, Angela was gonna come tonight, but I asked her to not come tonight. She wanted to go over the new portal thing with us. I said, I don't think.
Probably what this is about.
Yeah,
So Angela asked me, and I told her I thought it was a good idea.
yeah,
Right, so,
just not tonight.
Thank you.
so that, what she sent out is what the town board and everybody else is using. So, if you look at what was in here, the newer projects were a little bit more succinct. The older projects, the whole folder was down. And so like TTM, there was a ton of information, but, you know, things like the Taco Bell, they were pretty controlled. So what you'll see in the future is the submissions will be for that meeting. So it will,
What we should be looking at.
yeah, so there will be an aggregate, so it's not overwhelming, but there is the ability to go back and find it.
It isn't, it's like you're having it on your back for 5 hours.
Also,
And the other thing is, there's a public and a private portal, but in speaking to Ann, she would be there's really no difference. So her opinion was, instead of getting logins and everything for everybody, he said, just go to the public portal, because for any activity, there's no sense in having to log in and log out.
But we do have notes and stuff that we wouldn't want to put in there.
Well, if you want to use the notes feature, you need to go to the private
Yeah.
login.
Yes.
You might want to.
Yes, yes. I think she did send out all the login information.
I think so, yeah. I have not.
Yeah, I didn't even think that.
Oh, yeah, members.
Kevin moved.
Yes.
Is that with that leap up?
It's finished.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's coming
Where are you
back.
traveling to, Lee?
Not going, I don't-
I'm in Richmond, Virginia right now.
Alright, well, travel safe.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
No, in Richmond.
Hey. Hey, I still show up on the portal as Nathan Brown.
Like, it's been limited posting for.
Yeah. Your name is my name on my account. Even though I changed the account, it kicks me back to you.
Yeah.
All right.
And they came back saying they wanted to.
Is that a record number of approvals?
Could have been.
One, two, three, 4, 5,
And
6,
it's
7.
been, I
Get
mean,
rid of it, yeah, you're not, that's, I mean, they don't come out.
All right, bye, guys.
Those are their props.
if they say if they're used, frequently
Yeah.
used, but the ones that I didn't like was the trailers. The one, the storage trailer pod that they wanna put by. the road.
Sure, nice.
Those ones that they
ones that
have
are-
marked off.
Like, there's
spots,
these in the
right,
back
you'll
rows.
see they're in the.
Oh,
parking
yeah,
lot.
right.
And they keep giving us the money back with them by the road with the signs on them. And they said that
Thank you.
people are gonna be using those as storage.
Well, it's just terrible.
And they have the U-Haul signs on.
12 items?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they said they were signing. They said we want them there because they have our signs on. So I just want to make sure they don't go there.
Yeah, all the